Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the best bridge crew. This side of some good old body snatching, because body snatching. It happened.
Yeah.
It's
Body
fucking
snatching.
weird. Body snatching.
The fun kind or the problematic one?
I'm going to say the problematic kind in this, unfortunately, but we won't get into that. Before I do my intros, Michael Kwan, I will say that he wrote, I'm going to be impressed if Julian was able to overcome his fan energy and ask a single coherent
He
question
did not.
of Todd Stashwick.
Nope.
I did not,
It was a
and
mess.
actually got
Failed.
interrupted
Epically.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Epically.
Epically. Vice Admiral Eric is here, and I think he'd be taking that NX-01 refit out for a spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. I knew you were going to love
I'm
that.
so happy.
Oh, dude, me too. And I'm not even a big Enterprise fan, but to see that thing there, that was dope. Commander Hawk is here, and no, dude, you cannot have the Defiant. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine.
This means war.
I mean, it is a warship. Captain Giraffe is here, and I know that you already spotted that Romulan bird of prey down
Was it
below.
Klingon?
No, there's a Romulan bird of prey down below.
There was, yeah.
The original, but maybe you didn't see it. Maybe it was
Oh.
cloaked. But if you
was
did
cloaked.
see it, you would steal it, and it would be yours, right?
I will take it back. It was stolen first.
That's a good point. That is
Like-
a very good point. Yeah, yeah. And finally, Lieutenant Commander MC is here. And guys, you know what? Because I like you guys, I love you guys so much. You guys can share the Defiant, okay? Because I'll take the Enterprise A because
Hey.
I love her.
Those
yeah.
retro lines. Those retro lines.
It's the one from the movies. It's Kirk's Enterprise.
The
Well, you know what?
Movies.
The only one that's
I will
Kirk's.
let Hawk have the Defiant because I'd be happy with the Bounty because come on, it's the
Oh,
one from the
okay,
one with the
all right.
whales.
Eric brings up a good point. The Enterprise A is the only Enterprise that was Kirk's and Kirk's only.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That
because
is-
he blew it up.
But he was also the first captain on it.
Yeah, because
I
I mean,
mean-
like the other Enterprise was, first it was April's and then it was Pike's.
Pike,
So
Yep.
there were just so
Kirk,
many
and
people
then
in that
Spock,
ship.
and then Decker,
Yeah.
and then Kirk, and then Spock. Okay, that was exhausting. How you guys doing? How we doing? We've already seen each other today.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's too much.
Yes. So much. We are going to try and get through this part of the show very quickly because we have our interview with Todd Stashwick coming up, and then we still have to review the show. So we're going to try and do this. So yeah, we are thrilled to get to sit down. We got to sit down with him a few hours ago. The captain of the USS Titan himself, the self-proclaimed dipshit from Chicago. Todd Stashwick, that is going to come up in just a few minutes. Later, with Titan on the run, Jean-Luc turns to Geordi for help. Geordi makes his triumphant return. How does that reunion go? Not maybe the way you think. Speaking of reunions, Worf and Rafi are reunited with the crew and N7, and that's also a little awkward. Yeah, what happens when Worf, Rafi, and Seven then go on an away mission? Like there's a ship and there's an away mission. We haven't had that in a while. Pretty dope. Prodigy we have, and Lower Decks. In live action, we haven't had that a lot. It felt good. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. They go to investigate Daystrom Station. What secrets do they find there? Because there are a lot. And what happens when Will is captured? And finally, with Data, Lore, Lol, Sung, B4, I think that's all of them.
Mhm.
Giraffe's like, where's the Brent Spiner money? On board Titan.
Where's the
what-
dirt?
Where's the dirt? What game-changing revelation do they share about what the changelings stole from Daystrom? We are going to break that all down, but first, Giraffe, you've been cloaked. You've been away. Maybe you've actually been here the whole time, but you've been cloaked on a ship. So anyway, it is way overdue for you to thank our Ready Room Level Patron Collective.
I tried to count and be like, if I show up at episode 6. I
No,
think
it didn't
that-
work out. It didn't work out. Can you thank our Ready Room Level and above patrons, please?
Yes, thank you, dear patrons. Thank you, Jeff Reeve, Maria Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Lindemann, Colin Davidson, Alan Davis, Shatterhand 2049, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emilian Travis, Gildra, Cassie, Hawk is King Friday. Okay. Maggie
Apparently.
Light, ally of the Canadian takeover. Wayne Ritz, Con of Arc. Sean, J. Howard, Myhalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, Cassie McIntosh, David Willett, Tara Poland, Slope74, Wood Parakeet, Alex Sharkey, Joshua Miller, Adam Sanders, Amy, the Magic Snail, and Aris Penjan. Yeah.
Great
that's written
job.
down,
Mm.
And
man.
hey, you got that 100% for being gone a few weeks. Like, bravo.
Oh,
Bravo.
I already outlined that from the past episodes.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Hmm.
Also, a very big thank you to our executive producers, Chris Todd and Simon Stager. We literally couldn't do this without you. You keep our bills paid, so thank you guys so much. We have a special guest in the chat tonight. Jesse Gender is joining us in the chat tonight. So welcome, Jesse. Good to have you in the chat. Very quickly, we are going to get through news. Giraffe, you're going to be at WonderCon this weekend. What's happening?
Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm driving up to LA, and we after work, I'm packing like my car full of cosplay, fun times. So I'm gonna be there presenting Strange New Pod, and I'm gonna host a panel on archaeology and paleontology in Star Trek with two scientists from the San Diego Natural History Museum. If you come say hi, I have
Stickers.
and I'm always happy to make new friends, so come say hi. Yeah.
Yes. Go say hi. Chris Red's Giraffe drives a manual with an ape hanger shifter like me. I don't know if she has an ape hanger shifter, but she actually.
I mean, I'm French, so I do drive a manual usually, but
Yeah.
not in the US. But I know how to drive stick.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun times, and I most probably will be at Yuri's night in April in LA if anybody's
Oh, cool.
coming. It's
Nice.
very cool. Yeah.
I announced over on Patreon today and our Discord Patreon chat stickers. We have the $2 Ready Room level stickers being shipped out soon. Those are the Get the Hell Out of Here or Boldly Get the Hell Out of Here Riker stickers designed by me. And then Eric designed that fucking badass Wednesdays are for beheadings. That I think the commenting people want to see that as a magnet, which I think would be really dope. So I think we're going to make that a magnet for our 10 forward level collective members and above. We're also, because I know other people at different levels wanted those, I think we're going to try and make those available to lower levels as well. We'll figure out the logistics, and if the tier that's getting them is cool with that, we want to make sure everybody's happy. So stay tuned for more details of that. And then MC, you have a big drop tomorrow.
Yes, I did. I did Trexper quiz on the weekend, and that episode's going to be dropping tomorrow at, I want to say 7 on YouTube. And a certain somebody who is here today was the scorekeeper for that.
Surprise.
I totally was impartial and honest. And
Wink, wink.
wink, wink, and I kept the score like a boss. It's an epic Trexpert. You should watch it.
Yeah.
can't wait.
No spoilers, but at one point, Giraffe does make very surprised face.
I most of the thing I was like, holy shit! How
Ooh, I
did
can't
you
wait.
know that?
Cannot wait. That's
And
awesome.
speaking of trivia, we have our trivia next weekend.
Yes.
Patreon trivia for Strange New Pod. It's gonna be on Saturday, April 1st. April's Fool. And at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. I
Okay.
don't remember. It's on Patreon.
Yeah,
The
it is
link-
on the Patreon.
The link is gonna be posted next week, and MC is gonna write a question. So good luck to you all, and it's gonna be
She
it's
may or may not get fired for her questions that time. We'll
and
see.
it's gonna be several answers. It's gonna be
It's going to be
Multiple
multiple
choice.
choice this time. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. I didn't put this in the notes, but I am going to say very quickly, just there's going to be, starting in about 2 to 3 weeks, there's going to be some programming changes. Nothing that you're really going to notice, but I am starting a new job. I am going to be
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to be a morning show for an oldie station co-host. I'm going to be doing news, weather, and sports every half hour. And I am going to be waking up at ass o'clock in the morning. So the only thing that you guys are going to see change is that Fridays, the podcast version of the show will probably just drop a little later. So probably like mid-afternoon, early evening, because I'm going to be taking a nap after I come back from work. So that's about it. You should not see any other changes. I'm working 4:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. So still gives me the entire day, which is pretty dope. I kind of like those hours, even though I am not a morning person.
And where do people can listen to you?
I will put the link in the Discord, but it is Oldies XL. So just look up Oldies XL and you should get there. It's 60s, 70s, and 80s. And they're building the whole radio show around me and this new DJ. So it's pretty exciting. I'm stoked to be joining the team.
Well, there's lots of congratulations in the chat for you.
Yeah.
So
thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys rock. I'm very excited for this new venture.
Quick question.
Yes.
What counts as oldies now?
60s, 70s, and
Shut
80s, apparently.
Not the 90s?
Though some people say 90s. 90s is going to get there eventually.
90s is retro, not oldies.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Without further ado, we are going to take a very short break. And when we return, we are going to have our interview with Captain Liam Shaw himself, Mr. Todd Stashwick. Stick around. We'll be right back. We are back and so excited to welcome our very special guest on the view screen. He was the deep cover Romulan, Talek on Star Trek Enterprise, Deacon, the whiskey-loving leader of the West 7 on 12 Monkeys, and of course, you know him now as the dipshit from Chicago, self-proclaimed, that we've all welcomed into our hearts. The captain of the USS Titan himself, Todd Stashwick. Welcome, good sir.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
do
stadium.
actually have
Oh, hi everybody.
those two for you. There you go.
Yes.
But it is a pleasure to have you. Welcome. How you doing today?
Thanks. Living the dream. I'm here in sunny Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Taking time out of my Dungeons and Dragons convention to chat with you good folk.
Yeah,
Oh,
Gary
well,
Con.
True
We
story.
appreciate so much.
I'm at GaryCon. Yeah.
Eric is so excited.
I'm so
for
jealous.
You. Oh, that's awesome.
It's fun.
Todd, normally we'd be asking you at this point, right? Like what your history is with this Trek franchise, but it is very well documented, as I kept mispronouncing your character name.
That's
Shame
fair.
on me. Yeah, very fair. You are definitely a fellow nerd, like all of us. So I'm gonna just get into the fun questions, which have definitely been known to
Do it.
stump the nerdier of nerds. So I mean, here we go. What
do
is
it.
your favorite Trek, your favorite episode, and your favorite character?
Okay. So my favorite Trek is probably the original series. And that also includes like Wrath of Khan and Voyage Home and Undiscovered Country. So that crew, but that was my introduction to Trek. Like I'm a kid of the 70s, so that was my Trek. My favorite episode, oddly, might be Measure of a Man from TNG.
Mm-hmm. Great,
Because I
choice.
think that might have been the first Trek episode that I cried at. It moved me deeply. And then what was the last question?
Your favorite character.
Favorite character? Well, Kirk. I mean, I was like, that's again.
okay.
I came up with that. That was my original captain, and I mean, we could deep cut, but I think
Deep
there's
cut,
so many
do it.
great.
Yeah.
There's so many great characters. There's so many great characters, but I love Jesus. You know what's a character I kind of loved because it just felt like the studio was just trying to bend itself into backwards to try and backdoor pilot this character, which was I forget the character's name, but Billy Campbell's sort of space rogue.
Okona.
Okona.
Kona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just that they were just trying so hard to get us to just fall in love with that scallywag and him like a gal at every port, so that they could possibly like spin it off and have their Han Solo.
Mhm.
And I just the tremendous amount of effort and energy, and Billy was so charming. He's such a charming actor, but so it stands out to me because it was just kind of audacious, kind of so on track, intentionally so, that I
Oh.
just giggle when I think of that character, because it was just like this scamp, and it kills me.
He showed up on Star Trek Prodigy for a few episodes, back in the fall and winter when that show, the new animated
That
show for
character?
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, O'Connor,
O'Connor.
yeah, and Billy
As that
Campbell came back
character?
to play him. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah, it's awesome. Yep. Huck.
I love it.
Todd, if I'm allowed to gush
You,
for a
you
little-
didn't stump me.
I didn't. You,
Oh, please.
Yeah.
pat on the back. That was awesome. A Measure of a Man was one of the better choices too. So,
Darn right.
Mhm.
If I'm allowed to gush for a minute,
Such a good one. Hawk.
you have been an amazing character actor for over 2 decades now, most notably for your villainous turns. But your performance as Captain Shaw seems to have catapulted you to this new level of fame, in particular, like the Captain Shaw no meme, which is just all over the internet right now. So,
And by the way, not my first no meme.
really?
Deacon a little bit probably,
I
right?
No, I played a character on Supernatural, Dracula,
Dracula.
a black and
Yeah.
white episode, and there's a very famous meme of me going, "No," that made the rounds for years. That I just thought it was hilarious that the two memes I'm known for is me saying no.
You do it so well.
But I didn't mean to interrupt your gushing, Hawk. Continue.
But the rest, how are you handling the new level of recognition?
It's all so, it's so delightful. It's I've said this versions of this before, but you do something in a room with maybe 200 people, cast and crew, for a very tiny bit of time, and you just do this thing in this space that's quiet, and you kind of make your little project, and then it gets blasted out into the stratosphere, and then you kind of wait to see how people are receiving it. And I just I am humbled, deeply humbled. Mostly I'm humbled because there's been more than a few veterans have reached out to me and thanked me for making them feel seen, and it's big, right? Like the dealing with survivor's guilt and dealing with PTSD and feeling that actually represented in Trek, which goes at mental health and goes at those issues, and we can deal with topical issues of dead naming and all of the things that are very much part of who we are, especially when we have so many wars and so many things that people have survived, and to be connected to this franchise and to play that character and to do moments that people find connection with, understanding, they feel seen. That to me is so humbling. That is so huge, and the power that story can bring. So that's probably the headline. The memes are a blast, and people have been super kind on the twits and the instas and the books. But yeah, it's really gratifying to have people respond positively to your work, and look, people have always been kind at no matter whatever level of work I'm doing, and I've been a part of a lot of genre driven franchises, and they all have a very passionate following, and so people have always responded to me with kindness, and I'm very appreciative of that. But yes, Trek is a different plateau of visibility, definitely.
That's awesome. MC, I'm just gonna
It was
go
a very
quickly-
long answer to your.
It was a
That's a
great
great
answer.
It was a good answer. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out of order real quick because of what Todd was just talking about. I'm gonna go to one of our producer questions real quick from Simon. He was asking. It seems, and we know what we've seen in the first 6 episodes, that Shaw's going through the survivor's guilt. Right? Has that amazing speech, by the way. Like, bravo on that performance. Trek should be like,
also bravo to the writers.
Absolutely.
O'Neill.
But Trek should be acknowledged more, like in the award scene, and that is deserving of an award and then some. So
You're very kind.
it was
You're very
amazing.
kind.
But he's going through.
It's the only reason I do it, Julian.
Well, we need more Emmys, man, and Golden Globes and all of it. No, I'm not kidding. Trek has always been.
No, certainly. I don't disagree with you, but I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, it's okay.
You're going somewhere.
Yeah, no, we see Shaw over these 6 episodes, right? He lightens up a little bit in this current episode, but he's going through the survivor's guilt of what happened at Wolf 359. It was kind of interesting to hear if Shaw was always an asshole before Wolf 359, if like that was his personal, or when did it become that substitute for charm? Was it the survivor's guilt?
I think he's a very guarded man, and I think, and he's a very defensive man, and I think it's all out of love for his crew and unresolved fear for his crew. So I think he clings to protocol, and he clings to procedure, and he clings to chain of command and the structures in place, because ultimately they can protect his crew. So his brusque nature, I think, and I think we're seeing a lot of this today, which I think is a good thing. I think also times change, and that which was okay to talk to people just isn't anymore. Yeah. The way comedians will talk about this, like the way what was funny before isn't funny anymore. It's abuse. So you go, no, it always was abuse. It always was abuse.
Yeah.
It's just you weren't called out on it. And I think as the years have rolled on for this man, he has become complacent. He has become bitter. He has become angry. And I also think but he sees it as protection. He's that father figure that says, I show you I love you. I don't tell you I love you. I show you I love you in the way that I'm keeping you all alive. But do you need me to say nice things? Is that what you need? Like, and then part of you goes, yeah, you kind of do, because you're abusive. So I do believe, destiny has a reckoning for him. Like, I think him suddenly being made to be face to face with Picard and bringing all this up while he's there with Seven of Nine, whom he dead names, he is suddenly having to face his trauma, because I don't think he ever thought he would have to look Picard in the face. And so all of this stuff all of the soup being stirred up in him, it certainly is exacerbating his asshole for charm nature. It's making it worse. But I don't think he was the cuddliest fella before that. I think you get a glimpse as to why in episode 4.
Yeah.
Still doesn't make it okay. Doesn't make it okay, but at least it makes it relatable. And he doesn't, like with a lot of trauma, we sometimes aren't aware of ourselves, and we aren't aware of our behavior and how much it's hurting other people, because they're hurting. Like, he's a hurt man, so he lashes out to hurt. I don't think he thinks it damages as much as it does. And especially with Seven, I think he just is like, it's like, what? What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I'm the captain.
Yeah,
I do what I
definitely.
want. And blah,
Yep.
blah, blah. And he's got a lot to learn. He's a broken man. He's a broken man with a lot to learn. And that's what I think is great about Trek, is we can explore these issues and go, people aren't just one thing. We are complex beings who, on one hand, respect Seven enough to go, she's my first officer because I need her opposing views on my bridge, and I need her strength and her fast thinking and her fortitude and her shoot from the hip nature. He needs that because he won't allow himself to be that, but he needs it. Yeah. So somewhere in his subconscious, he needs that, and he respects her to go, you're my XO. Like, that's a big position. But he also has not reconciled his own trauma that he can acknowledge her Borg side, which is why he has to call her Annika or Hansen. So he's very, very, very human. You know,
yes, he is
deeply imperfect human. He's a deeply something to him. He's so flawed, and at the same time, not wrong. In his calls about going, no, you can't take my ship. No, we're not going in there. No, I'm not putting my crew in harm's way. No, it was not okay that you disobeyed a direct order. No, it was not okay that they stole my shuttle. No.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. That's right. Yeah. Wow. 100%. Well, you definitely thought this through. That's amazing. I'm like shook a little bit. That's fantastic. Yeah. MC, go ahead.
So, Todd, you've obviously made it no secret that you're a Trek nerd, and you've very much proven that today. And one thing that Trek nerds do is find any excuse to watch Star Trek, and you've had a very good excuse. So, what episodes did you watch to prepare yourself to play Shaw?
Well, clearly Wolf 359. I rewatched Wrath of Khan and Undiscovered Country. And then I rebooted and just started TNG from the top, and I think I'm heading towards season 4 in my rewatch because there's 26 episodes of season 4.
Remember
I have to eat and sleep. Those are good old days. Yeah, those were the days. Yeah. So in preparation for Shaw, I watched Wolf 3. I watched The Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2, of course, so that I knew what was happening outside my portal windows of the Constants. Because, you know, what a rare opportunity as an actor to actually see the event that I have to remember in my head. And then from there, I'm putting it together visually, like, what did I see? Like, what was my hallway? What was my turbo lift? What were my mates? Who were my jack crushers? All of that, you want to reassemble the time so that when I'm recounting it to Jack and to Picard, I'm seeing it again. I'm going through it again. So that was just, normal actor stuff. And as far as episodes to prepare, I revisited those specifically for obvious reasons.
Nice. So you're a part of this very elite group of Star Trek actors that are, near and dear to my heart because you're a fan of D&D. And Disco Does D&D is one of our fans' favorite things. And you're not just a fan, but you're also a player and a DM. What about D&D lends itself to actors, and are there any aspects of the game that you brought to your varied roles in the past that you've played?
I would say it's the other way around. I say D&D led me to become an actor because I was playing it since I was a kid, right? So I was doing pretend, and I was doing improvised stories, and I was, living in imaginary realms as a child, so that it just kind of extends itself into what I do now for a living. And what was the rest of your question?
what does D&D lend itself to an actor? Like what skills or?
Well, it's improvised storytelling, and so we're always improvising as an actor. I'm always listening to what the other person is saying, and then I'm having thoughts and feelings about that and opinions about what they said, and then I just happen to be saying what the writer wrote. That's acting, right?
Yeah.
Like they give me the lines, but I have to internalize what the other person's doing and saying to me, and I have to have thoughts and feelings about that. And that's all improv is. But you do something, and I have opinions on it, and I share those opinions, and then I have a reaction, and we heighten it together. So it's all the same mechanisms at work. Also, Dungeons and Dragons really asks you to believe in the unbelievable, which is what D&D is, right? Like I have to look at a view screen and pretend I'm looking at giant celestial jellyfish. So that is no different than going and before you as a beholder with many eyes shooting beams at you, wanting to devour your soul. So yeah, I mean it's all that suspension of disbelief, and I think keeping a playful soul and spirit. I joke that I spend my adult life living the childhood of my dreams. Yeah.
Yeah, a quick little.
Plus, it's really fun.
It is really fun. Speaking of fun, have you tried Star Trek Adventures? Have you ever played that TTRPG?
I have not. I played Star Trek with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty much as good as it gets.
That's better.
Yeah.
That's better.
So my guess is it might be diminishing returns.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think there's any going back from getting to sit in the captain's chair. Right?
No, I'm kidding. I've actually been intrigued to see how those games run because I played a Star Wars TTRPG, Edge of the Empire, and I've played Call of Cthulhu and Vampire the Masquerade, and yeah. I like that cartoon behind you.
Oh, my question is coming.
I didn't hear what she said.
I don't know that her
question's coming.
question was coming.
Yeah, don't
Oh, the
worry. We're gonna
question's
talk
coming.
about it.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it's I'd be absolutely interested in playing a Star Trek adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff,
Your
hit
question?
it.
Okay. So we spoke about how your Star Trek fame took off these last 6 episodes, and Star Trek fans are good at fan art and fan fiction for so many years. So how much aware are you of everything that's going on the fanfic about Captain Shaw, the fan art? I mean, the artist that did this cartoon behind me, Jazz,
I'm aware. Yeah, that's
actually
really fun.
made a body pillow of Captain Shaw. So yeah, how much aware are you of all
I don't
this?
think we're
Are
seeing
you
Shaw in Star
reading-
Trek again after hearing that.
Are you reading any of this? What does that do to your ego?
A lot of that stuff. By the way, a lot of that stuff is none of my business. You know what I mean? I have no opposition to fan fiction. It's not for me. It's not written for me. It's not written by me. Wouldn't it be weird if I wrote my own fanfic?
I'd read it. I'd read it in a heartbeat.
So, although somebody asked would I be up for writing like further adventures of Shaw and IDW, I like to be writing my own fanfic, I guess. But people have sent and tagged me on some of the art that's out there, and there's just been amazing art. This woman Steffi out of Germany, I think, did this gorgeous digital painting of me holding the Malbec glass. It's just stupendous, and I've seen a lot of these beautiful cartoons. And it's whatever I get tagged on that I see. It's not something I'm like Googling Shaw fan art or anything like that. And I'm definitely not really aware of the fan fiction. Yeah.
Okay, it's happening. Shaw
But
has
again,
been.
it's not for me.
Oh yeah. The
You're
fans
not going to
has-
order yourself
yeah.
a Shaw body pillow to snuggle with?
No Shaw body pillow for
no.
you. No.
Yeah, I would have to get rid of my Deacon body.
Oh,
pillow.
yeah, there we go. Yeah. Well, he might have a shotgun to snuggle with, too. Let's talk about this week's episode, because you finally come out of, well, Shaw finally comes out of his shell a little bit, right? Geordie LaForge walks onto the bridge of the Titan, and Shaw's like a kid in a candy store meeting his hero, right? All he wants to do is nerd out with him about engineering and starships, and Geordie's like, dude, your ship's a mess, man. What was it like playing almost a little bit of a lighter version of Shaw and working briefly with LeVar Burton on this one?
Well, several things. I mean, I've been aware of LeVar Burton since I was a boy because of all of his just massive body of work. So he is always, I've had such admiration for him for a very long time. So it was a treat to share the stage with him. Now his daughter Mika is a big D&D player, so she and I had already had many conversations and nerded out together about Dungeons and Dragons. With that moment specifically, he sort of reads me the issues with the ship, and I think the original line, I don't remember the original line, but I sat with it for a second, and I'm like, it doesn't necessarily track to me exactly as how he might respond in this moment. And so I went to Terry Metalis and I pitched, I had a weird week, as my response to why my ship isn't set in this way. Because, I mean, I had a starship thrown at me. I was in the womb of a jellyfish celestial. Like you caught me at a bad time here, and I thought it would just be fun to say, yeah, I had a weird week. Like he's trying to equivocate, and I really enjoyed that moment. And then I think at one point I played it, and it didn't make it into the edit just because of time or whatnot. I sort of am looking at them, and I start backing up from them to join Seven and Picard, and I intentionally backed up till that I hit the railing.
Oh, I didn't notice
I kind
that.
of like banged into it. It didn't happen in this cut, but there was one moment where I kind of like banged into it, just kind of save face, and LeVar just looks at me and she goes, "Did you just walk into the furniture?" I go, and he goes, "You are shameless." I'm like, welcome to the Titan. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
That's so cool. Do you have another interview after this? Do you have a time for one more question?
I can take another question.
Cool. I'm gonna read our last producer question here from Chris. You have a lot of tats, obviously. He heard that you might have a 12 Monkeys tattoo, and because of that, do you think you might get a Star Trek tattoo in the future?
I think I just showed it to you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, they got the West 7 on there. You got the monkeys, and you have the new
Delta.
24th century badge.
And then I have my rank. I have my rank, and I have my badge, and then I have the Titan.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
nice. Oh, we have starships
So
together.
this is my Metalis. This is my Metalis crest because this is 12 monkeys, and there's my West 7, and then I was the 10th person on the call sheet, so this is the 10th monkey on the clock.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then there's my comm badge, and then there's my rank, and then there's my ship. And then I had this already where it says this too shall pass, because all of this stuff is temporary. My arm is temporary.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course I have a Star Trek side. I have the other star over here. I have Star Wars on this side.
So that was actually my
And then I
follow-up
have
question.
D&D right there.
Nice. That was my follow-up question. Was your Star Wars tattoo? I noticed it when you were on the Ready Room with Will Wheaton. I have Ahsoka, and I don't know if you can see it, Ahsoka and Grogu, and I have some Arabesh written on my calf as well. I'm not going to obviously lift
I've
my
got
leg to show
my Arabesh
anybody.
right there.
And she's got Arabesh. So, are you comfortable? Can you share what the Arabesh says, or is that between you and your arm?
Yeah, yeah. It's my favorite. It's my favorite Han Solo line, and I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So it's yeah. So it's he says that to Luke when he goes, she's rich. How rich? More than you can imagine. I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit. And I also love the idea of that as just kind of a philosophy for life. Like I admit ignorance and then
Nice.
make it up. So
That's awesome.
it sort of leads into the improv of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, this has
Yeah.
been.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my powers.
I love tattoos. I'm gonna keep getting more for the rest of my life until I have no. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I
get
think I'm
face
gonna
done.
get the Tree of Gondor right here.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I have it. I have
That's
it
a great
planned.
tat to get.
Yeah.
That's a great
Yeah.
tat to get. I think my next one is a dark
That'll be
saber, where
nice.
my other tattoos are with some Mandalorian helmets. So
I
We'll
see where
see.
your passions are.
both. I have the way of pissing off two franchises at once. So
Well, I have a T-shirt that says "Divided Allegiance," and half of it is the Enterprise, the other half is the Falcon.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Listen, Todd, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Before we let you go, where can people find you on the socials? What do you have going on? Any future projects that you can share, or is Star Trek kind of your thing right now?
Sure. Well, no, I finished this job a year ago, so I'm professionally promoting Star Trek now.
Yeah.
So you can find me at T Stashwick on Instagram, at Todd Stashwick on Twitter. You can go to my nerdy merch site called The Nerd Circus, where I sell T-shirts inspired by the nerdy projects that I've done, dice towers and dice, and Mai Tai glasses. And I have a D&D inspired cocktail book called Mystic Libations that I sell. And what else can I tell you? I'm on a show, a few episodes with Jennifer Garner of a show coming out this month called The Last Thing He Told Me. And I'm currently co-writing on a Captain America Black Panther video game
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Whoa.
That's awesome.
for
Oh,
Skydance New Media. And then I have a game that I co-wrote currently out called Forspoken.
I've heard of
for the video
Forspoken. I'm thinking about picking that up. So you've now
Big
inspired me to do
fantasy
that.
game, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's and then I have to run 4 games in the next 3 days.
Yeah.
So here at GaryCon. And then I will be going to many Star Trek conventions throughout the year. I'll be in Vegas
Awesome. Sweet.
if you guys
Awesome.
are in Vegas. Yeah.
I think a couple people might head to Vegas, so we'll look out for you. But it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Todd Stashwick, ladies
Good
and gentlemen.
times.
Yeah.
I promise
Hawk,
that
Giraffe, MC, Eric, Julian.
I promise
What
I'll
do you
get your Romulan name right next time. I swear.
I don't believe you.
I wouldn't
you
either.
shouldn't believe me.
You
What
had
be
like
accountable.
3 at-bats, buddy.
I did.
You
I
tried 4 or 5 times and you kept defaulting.
you should
Well,
just Trip
couple
Tucker me off the show. When we come back, we are going to have our review of episode 306 of Star Trek Picard, The Bounty.
Oh, that's why you're making me leave before you talk crap about it. Bye.
4 hours. In 4 hours. We will be right back.
Awesome.
Bye, everybody.
Welcome back to the show, guys. We really, really hope that you enjoyed our interview with Todd Stashwick. It was a hell of a good time. We were just saying off mic that I think MC and I could just talk tattoos with Todd Stashwick for hours. So, but a great chat. Can't wait to see what the rest of his character on Picard season 3 holds. But just awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad the chat has been hopping. it is time to get into this episode. With the interview, I had a strange new loop. We are going to skip it tonight because we have a lot to talk about with this episode. So we're going to get right into our review of episode 306 of Star Trek Picard, The Bounty. Our order tonight will go Hawk, Giraffe, MC, Eric, followed by myself. Let's talk about Jack's diagnosis. Early on, Bev reveals that Jack has the same Irmotic syndrome that killed Jean-Luc in Picard season 1. We still don't talk about that.
Forget that the guy is dead.
Right, because he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's not dead. We don't talk about Bruno. So that Irmotic syndrome has been what's triggering his episodes of aggression, these nightmares, or at least that's what the show is telling us right now. We don't know. Are we buying this, guys? Especially with the revelation at the end, or is this kind of legit and explains everything that's been happening with him?
Big no on my part. For everything, like looking it up just on on the webs and that. Irmotic syndrome, hallucinations, aggression, all that stuff, and that they don't make you Jason Bourne, and to take out the four changelings. So I think that's a big no. There's something more at play with Jack.
I mean, imagine if it was really just that. That'd be such a lame story. Like, you imagine it's like, oh yeah, no, it's just that. Come on, nobody buys this. Like, man, when they were like, I was like, we know it's not gonna be that. I mean, it's a good way for Bev. I mean, is Bev buying this too? Come on, she's a doctor.
She seems to be the one who's suggesting it.
I still don't know what to think about Bev.
But
I don't know
think
if Bev is
she's
a
lying.
changeling. I don't know if a lie.
I think Bev is not telling the whole truth. And I do think she's a changeling. Unpopular opinion, but I do think she's a changeling.
I just don't know.
Why would you be listening to like logs from your ex?
To learn about him?
But she knows.
Not if she's a
everything.
changeling.
Maybe it was
That's
Jack
why I
listening
say
to it.
that-
and
Oh, I
was
thought you
trying
were
to keep
saying
the
she's
accent.
not a changeling.
No, I'm
You're saying she is. Yeah,
a
see,
changeling.
I'm like
Yeah.
I'm getting there more and more.
Yeah. So I don't buy that thing at all. And again, it doesn't match everything. I mean, it's a good explanation for people from the outside who had not seen him do all the Jason Bourne thing, but we know.
We be new. I love it.
It's
Awesome.
a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
MC.
I mean, I don't think I'm buying it. I mean, maybe it's an explanation for something. Maybe it's a way that the changelings were able to manipulate his mind somehow, like because of like different brain chemistry, because certainly different brain chemistry will do stuff to different people. Or, I mean, it could also be the nanite enhanced Picardness of him.
The Borg sperm.
That's still my
He's a
that's
Borg
still my
baby,
big.
right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Technically, it's a Borg
Yeah.
baby.
I was trying to be delicate about it.
Borg
but...
I mean,
But
Borg
yeah.
swimmers.
are people still betting on the power ref, or like am I like?
No,
I think the
it's
power
not.
theory is
No,
gone.
no. And no, I don't think it explains everything. And I have another theory about something, but we're going to be putting that on TikTok tomorrow. So that's a
okay.
I
little
look forward
teaser
to
for
it.
everybody.
Yeah.
TikTok and YouTube Shorts, right?
Yeah.
Sweet. Who's up? Eric.
Me. I think it is Irmotic syndrome, but I think it does. Did I say that wrong? Irmotic.
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 Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Syndrome, but I think the way it messes with your brain, like the brain chemistry. I think that the Borg technology is mixing with it, and I think that's what the changelings want. Is that they want to get this like hybrid of Borg and
Changeling because
Change-
it's changeling.
maybe
I don't think that Jack is
I
a
don't know.
changeling.
I don't. But yeah, I think it is Irmotic syndrome. But I think that the fact that he's a Borg baby, makes the difference. He turns into a Borg. Yeah, Borg. I don't know.
Borg baby.
So I'm
Borg
gonna go right off of what you're saying, because I was saying this in our spoiler chat on Discord today, and I've watched all of these episodes multiple times now, and
That we have.
that we have. And music plays such a big part of all of these shows. And I've come to the conclusion that the First Contact music being so prominent in this season isn't an accident. It's not fan service. First Contact is a Borg movie. There's certain themes being played throughout this. I think I'm with Eric here. I think that he does have Irmotic syndrome, but I do think, especially since the Borg, we're getting into what happens at the end of this episode, but the Borg stealing Jean-Luc's body. Imagine a Borg nanoprobified. Though, I mean, they could get Borg tech from other places, but from Locutus, right? That's like a big deal. I think they want to combine that somehow. I do think that Jack is oblivious to everything going on. I think that Jack is Jack, though I think that Bev is a changeling, but Jack doesn't know that she's a changeling.
I don't think she knows
Is she a
enough of
sleeper
the
changeling?
or I
That's
don't.
what
I
I
don't think
think,
that. I just think that because she's so overprotective of her son, that she's willing to overlook some things, or maybe not think about. You know how like Geordi was super protective.
Yeah.
I feel like she's
Yes.
also gone into that mode, and maybe while she's
Yeah.
looking at the stuff, she's hoping for the best, or maybe that is the best. I don't know.
But she's a doctor, okay?
Yeah.
And I think we're like forgetting this. Okay, you're a doctor, and she's like a researcher. She's done like fringe medicine,
Mhm.
not once, not twice, but like for 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And she has a kid, and she knows like the genetic material of that kid, right?
Right.
She realized
Mhm.
that he has Irmotic syndrome, that he's a Borg baby, and all this. You don't think she messed up with him a little bit to try stuff? Like she totally tried something. Like she tried.
You think
to
that you
kill
think
him.
she experimented on him
Oh, absolutely not on him, but like she tried
with his
things.
genes?
I thought that he
Yeah,
might. She
I mean,
might.
like-
have
There is DNA
experimented
stuff
on
in the
Come
back.
on, like you see
Oof.
her in Remember Me, like trying all the things, and like she did it several times. Like she's a researcher, and when she has this kid who like is going for thing, you know she tried thing. Like
Yeah.
we see in Mbenga with his daughter and how he's like ready to try so many things. It's totally. I'd be pissed if we learned that she just like sat and they're like, I guess that's it. Get an ibuprofen. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, you're
And I
not wrong. Yeah.
That's some of the results that we're seeing. It's
Yeah.
she stole something from the changeling. She did something.
Oh, I like that.
Mm.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Because I've not been here for a long time, but I have like I'm pretty sure there's two faction of changelings.
And there's
Right.
definitely two
Yeah.
factions.
If
Yes.
you watched, there's the preview for next week's episode. I think
Fuck.
confirms
I
that
haven't watched
a little bit.
But
So-
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Worf
that's-
said that in the first episode.
He
Like,
did.
there's the Great Link, and then this is a faction from the Great Link.
yeah, but I think that the Vatic and the Shrike is like all like good old we know them changeling. We're trying to not stop the shit from starting, you know?
Oh, okay.
And the evolved changelings are like trying to start shit that the other guys are like, no, we're like done, we're done, like we're done. We signed treaties and we're like over.
Yeah.
And I think that Jack is the key, and I think Beverly has something to do with it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. What did we say no to?
My Zoom just popped up and said, "I want to crash," and I was like, "I'm just not going to press anything. I'm going to move you to the side."
Oh, oh, that happened. That happened earlier today. Let's talk about Jack a little bit more because he, with this news, he seems to take it pretty well. I mean, he does go to 10 forward and down a few shots. Goes off with his dad about how charmful he is, which is kind of adorable. But also seems to maybe have a mutual thing for Sidney LaForge. And as where are you? Where Kevin Richardson said, "I'm gonna need a peach pit after dark with Jack and Sidney. Those two are cute." Thoughts about them possibly being an item, Hawk?
There was a great two-shot of them coming off the
Yeah.
bridge together, and I thought, okay, yeah, this works. So yeah, I think they have a little vibe. So hopefully we see something evolve out of that.
I mean, I'm here for the ship, you know.
Yeah.
That kind of ship, not the other kind of ship. I'm just like, you know what? They're consenting adults. They're like a bit crazy, like Crash LaForge and like,
Bad boy Jack Crusher.
cowboy diplomacy, frontier
Bad.
medicine, bad boy Jack. I mean, I'm like, I'm here for it. Let's go. Yeah, woo. I mean, why not? Why not?
agree.
It's all consenting adults. Let's go.
Boom.
So the whole reason they gave her the nickname Crash was so that they could make the portmanteau name Crasher, right?
Oh, I thought,
Oh my god!
Wait. I think, but Terry posted a good one earlier too. What was yours, MC?
Crasher.
Crasher is really good. LaCrush is the other one, but
I'm
Okay.
gonna vote
I think
for
MC's is
Crasher.
I think
Yeah.
MC's is better.
Crasher.
But what about
Yeah.
Jack LaCrash?
No.
That was my
Jack-
horrible input.
wait, no,
to that.
that's good because it could be Jack the Crash likes to smash.
But anyways,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I get where they're going with this. It's cute. They're charming together. I don't much care for Jordy going all paternal, like
yeah, I didn't like that either.
you know,
Yeah,
stay away
I
from my
hated
daughter.
that.
Like we're not
thought
here
that
for
was
this,
funny.
Jordy.
It's the 25th century, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but otherwise, like, go for it, guys.
Kevin writes, "Space is cold. Let Jack and Sydney get warm." Eric.
Yes, love it. I love them together. I want shirts made and like magnets and Valentine's Day cards. That's what I want. I love them.
We will have a Crasher Valentine next year for Valentine's Day. It'll happen. I love it. Yeah, I'm here for it. I thought their chemistry was great. I felt it. I was like, oh, okay. All right. The Sydney's eyes especially were like,
Mhm.
okay.
She is definitely into it.
You know, we were speaking about this like earlier. Like, people are horny. You imagine, like,
Gotta be horny in space. It's
yeah,
tight
you have to be
quarters,
horny in
man.
space. You're like in a box all day long with a bunch of people. And I mean, we've watched Strange New Worlds, and we know that Starfleet only hires very hot people.
Yeah.
So, I
Only
mean,
hot
what
people
are you
allowed.
gonna do? Like, come on.
Except Reg Barkley.
Oh, come on. He's very handsome. Under
And
the
we're
right
forgetting about
circumstances.
Neelix and then Tuvix.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're
Oh,
charming.
Sorry, charming, fair. Hello, Donnie Pearson. Good evening. How you doing? Hello, Kang. Welcome to the chat. Tighten on the run. I tried to make a really bad pun song. It didn't work out.
Oh, that's
too
what
well.
it is? I was like, what is that?
Tighten on the run.
Like-
Yeah.
What's going on?
I tried. Okay, I'm not Brittany. If Brittany was here, it would
She
have been
would,
better.
yeah, she would have sold that.
She would have sold it. And then the reunion with Geordi. So Titan is on the run, as you heard from my horrible singing. I do sing on the pod every now and then. Leaving dummy transponders as it jumps in and out of warp, fooling Starfleet. I put Starfleet in quotes.
Starfleet.
Yeah, for the time being, because those are changeling ships, dude. We know
Yeah.
that now, right? Picard knows that they can't keep doing this, especially after almost being destroyed, dropping off Worf, Rafi, and Riker on Daystrom, because apparently Sydney was like, by the way, those ships have like god level one shot and will kill you phasers, so we don't want to mess with that.
I like how they make up like shit like this. Oh my god, now the ship has a new like one shot thing.
It's Starfleet. Starfleet doesn't do things like that.
Right.
Right?
They're not the military, do you know that?
They're not the military. No military. in
I had
Starfleet.
it.
They just have military grade equipment. That's all.
Oh,
They
man,
science
what were you
hard. They science
saying?
hard.
Science hard. So they head to Athen Prime to ask Geordi for help. But besides this kind of awkward hug, right? By the way, Bev hugged not only Worf but Geordi too. Bev with the hugs in this episode. I guess 20 years you need a hug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit of a cold reception. Geordi and Jean-Luc not off on the best foot. What do we think about not only his conversation with Jean-Luc, but that really like overbearing conversation he had with Sydney as well? Hawk.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of half expected Jordy at some point either I'm getting too old for this shit, or I'm supposed to be retiring next year.
No.
Because he's just like, he's in a museum, he's safe, and he's got the two daughters and that. Like, he knows Starfleet. He's obviously encouraged them both to get in there, and that, but like he knows like Starfleet is out in the galaxy, and the galaxy is a dangerous place, and that. So his overprotectiveness seems like probably a little plot devicey for this episode, and that I think they just needed it so that they could have the turn at the end.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, like he's Geordi, but just older. I think he's just got comfortable in that museum.
It's a nice museum.
Mm-hmm.
Giraffe.
Yeah. I was waiting for Geordi since like literally episode 1, and he comes in episode 6, and I'm like, ugh. It's gonna be like less than half the episodes where he's gonna be here, so I'm already kind of like disappointed. And I feel, he's a great engineer. Like, woo. I was like, why the hell is he like a creator of a museum? But he's taking care of these ships. You need like somebody who's very good in engineering, like to be able to be a creator of that kind of thing, We're gonna speak about it in our panel, by the way.
Nice.
But I was so disappointed by how Geordi has aged. And I live in a military town where there are so many military family. I've never seen a military parent be, no, you need to protect my daughter. Like, she's cannot go on the line of duty. Like,
Great point.
military parents are like super proud of their kids when they're like in the armed force, and they're like, I went to like, I went on the ship and my daughter is going on the ship. Like, I've never seen anybody be, you need to protect my daughter. She cannot be in harm's way. And I'm like, I know Starfleet is not military, but come on. And I was so disappointed that he was being so like weird, because his daughters are like adults. One works for him, and he's like, what? Like,
It's a little weird that Alondra's like his assistant,
like,
right?
Assistant. And
Yeah.
it's like nepotism, first of all. Like,
Yeah.
please, okay. And then I was disappointed because we always joke that they're like terrible dads in Star Trek only, except for Cisco. And I really wanted Geordi to be like a really open-minded and forward dad. But then it tracks with how Geordi was with women in TNG, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is a terrible way of writing him.
Yeah.
Like, that was like in the 80s and 90s, and it was so fucked up, So I'm like, are they trying to have like continuation of him being a weirdo with women, or like? And I just was like,
If they
not
are, it's a
buying
weird
it.
flex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, you'd hope to see like this character grow and be, he has a wife, he has kids, both daughters, so he has learned to be better, and apparently not. And I was super disappointed in this, because we want the Cisco back. We want like a good dad. And again, we're speaking about black men being dads and how they're represented in the media, which is super important. And as a woman, I was kind of like a bit disappointed that he was like not trusting more of his daughters. Like, you have kids, you have a daughter.
Oh yeah.
You raise her to trust her and to be, she's gonna do good decision. And if she takes a decision that is not good, you're gonna be like, yo, think about it, maybe, but
If my
ultimately,
kid,
that's
if Cecily or Caleb, doesn't matter which one, ever said I want to join the military and they joined the Marines and they like did some serious shit, would I be fucking scared for them and would I fear for them? Absolutely. Would I also be ridiculously proud of them? Fuck yeah, I would. Like, in a heartbeat.
and you trust them to choose their partner too.
Yeah.
Like don't talk to my daughter, or like don't. I was like,
Yeah.
get out of here. Who
Yeah.
does that?
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm rant over.
That was great
Yeah.
rant. Great
Well,
rant.
I mean, so much of what you said in your rant was basically exactly what I was going to say. So much that I hate you a little bit because now I don't have much to say. And actually, Kang in the chat said something that I was also going to say, and that's, I'm very, very glad that they did not actually give a name to Geordi's wife. And his kids' mothers, they did not name her, and for one time I'm actually glad of this, because I really did not want them to say Leia Brahms.
Yeah.
It better not be fucking Leia Brahms.
And isn't she like waiting for them for dinner or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, oh
I mean,
my God,
that's weird and sus, but also I'm glad they did not name her, because I don't trust them at this point not to make it Leia Brahms.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. And I do not want that. And yeah, just everything. Like, come on, Geordi, like you like these people were your family. And like as Sydney points out, like your crew becomes your family, and Geordi is all concerned about his daughters and keeping them safe to, the detriment of his family. And he was just such a jerk about everything. And it's like, I get wanting to be protective, but come on, like this is not good. This is stopping her from doing her job. She's trying to save people.
Yeah.
People need to trust their kids, like again and again. You raise them right, you trust them.
Yes.
They do great things because you raise them right. That's how it is.
And also trust her with the people that you've trusted for 30,
that's like
40
the big
years.
thing, right? Like Geordi and most of them have come back alive time and time and time again. These are people who, despite crash landing saucer sections on planets and all the other bullshit that they've done, have done a lot of good and not gotten killed while doing it. So
I mean, they kind of, but like Beverly always like brought them back.
people come back to life.
Yeah.
It's Star Trek. No one's dead.
Honestly, how many times has Geordi almost been like destroyed by the
So
Warp
many
Core?
times.
Yeah.
And other things. Turned into an alien.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times was I saw him die twice mentioned in this very episode?
Yeah. You get MC?
Yes.
Eric.
How did I feel about Geordi? Oh, well, I fucking loved it.
Third.
Yes.
And this is why you watch on YouTube.
So, like, I was generally fine with everything that Geordi did in this episode. And the only reason why is I thought he was overprotective in the Best of Both Worlds as well. Like, I thought that when he found out that Picard wanted to go on that last little journey, he's like, okay, let's, we'll coddle him and we'll bring him along and we'll do this thing for this, crazy old man. But I gotta protect him instead of, giving him the truth and being like, don't do this shit. No. So I can totally see him turning this way. They've hinted at different characters having some of that still from that alternate reality. So yeah, I think it's extreme. Like, yeah, he should be able to at least trust his daughters at this late of age. But I think that he does, like, he is comfortable in that area, right? It's his safety net, and these old ships, they're reliable, and that's something that he knows how to fix. Like,
yeah, I have no problem with Geordi being the museum curator. I think it's great, especially, dude. If the book, like, the books aren't considered quite canon, but he narrowly escaped the attack on Mars. He was like, well,
if we
Picard thought he was dead. So
if we are to take that
as
canon, could that be an explanation for why Geordi is now so overprotective?
I wouldn't say overprotective, but why he might want a pretty sweet gig being the curator of the Fleet Museum.
I mean, it's very common that curators are like famous people, like
Smithsonian,
like, and
draws people.
It's like ambassadorship, like you work right and you do like good to the administration, you get a cool ambassadorship. And I think it's the same thing with Geordi. I'm pretty sure he loves it. I mean, that should be super
Look at
fun
his
for an
desk.
engineer. Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off.
I can't remember where I was at. I don't think his daughter was his assistant. I think that they probably mentor like engineers up and coming, and her sister said that she also wanted to be an engineer. So why not do that underneath one of the best? And I know.
I feel like you could do that on a starship.
Yeah, no, but
So Brian,
a lot of kids that will want to be like mentored by their parents.
No.
No.
If it was Geordi, I would do it. Well, maybe not this
because he's not your
angry Geordi.
dad.
If he was my dad.
Oh.
Let's see, what else? Did I miss anything of that? I don't know. He seems like, because I can see him being a little cold on these people, right? Especially if
Yeah.
he feels like Picard is sent her through all this shit, and it was his fault again because he's done it so many times. Yeah, I don't know. It all made sense to me. I love him. So
Nepo babies in space.
Oh my God.
Nepo babies.
Oh, Jordy. I actually really enjoyed his conversation with Jean-Luc. I thought do we need a hug? Do we need a Jordy Bear hug? Hugs?
Aw.
Hugs.
MC, grab yours. I see it on the shelf. behind you.
I can't. I'm
Every
ported
time
and
would
I've got
fall.
a cat. I've got a cat in my lap.
I thought his honesty and conversation with Jean-Luc was very good. I understand saying the words, right? And saying, like, I never fear for my life, but I do fear for their lives. It's okay to say that, and it's okay to feel that. But to actively try and prevent that and order or tell your kid, who are, like Draft said, adult women, no, like, you're gonna stay here. That kind of draws the line for me. Like, that crew is Sydney's family, and that is her team, and they're getting through this together. And whether a court martial's at stake or not, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, how many times has the TNG crew almost been court-martialed for all the bullshit that they've done? Spoilers, a lot. So I think it was a big overstep on his part. Like, I'd like to think, I'm not there yet. My kids are 7 and 4. I'd like to think when a situation like that came with them, I wouldn't tell them no, right? Like Draft said, I would trust my kids to, I might argue initially because I'm scared, but I'd ultimately, like, it's their decision to make, right? And I'm going to support them in what they want to do.
And how often does it work to say, like, don't do it?
No,
to
exactly. They just go and do it, like,
Child.
even more. They go
Just
pick, like,
gotta
an
do
even
it
bigger
even more.
extreme. So
Yeah.
I didn't like that, and I really fucking hated the stay away from my daughter line. Come on, dude.
Oh, that was so bad.
Come on. Like,
that was a
what
TV show,
shady-
but I thought it was
what
funny.
shady shit did you do in the holodeck on
Yeah.
the Enterprise? And, like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
He
Or-
understands because he was one
or-
of them, though.
Yeah, he can spot his own kind.
I'm trying to, like, redeem the LaForge, like, a little bit. I'm like, so Bev hugs him, and I wonder if he knows something.
I don't know.
I don't think
Maybe.
anybody
knows-
knows
I
anything.
like that hug.
She played it real close.
I don't know. I'm like, maybe he knows something, and that's why he's really protective of his daughter. But I know it's not that. I do think they try to, have a continuation from TNG, and I think it's dumb. But anyway.
I could
Yeah.
have forgiven him for everything except for the stay away from my daughter line. Like,
Yeah,
that was
I would agree with that. And Kevin Richardson brings up another great point. Would the scene with Geordi have happened if his daughters were sons?
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely
no,
not.
absolutely
The
not.
answer is no, it would not have.
Yeah.
Especially not the stay away from my daughter. You
Nope.
would never hear a stay away from my son. No.
That being said, thank God by the end, do I have this on am I getting ahead? No, I do. So let's talk about that a little bit more, right? Because we've already talked about him wanting to play it safe and protect his family, but I think we all agreed, maybe not Eric, but about good parenting. Do we like, though, that he finally does give in and stays aboard the ship and lets them do their jobs like adults? Because thank God he does, right? Because I feel like otherwise it's almost like not redeemable. Huck.
Yeah, personality defects aside, and that it's like I'm glad Geordi is there in that, because like when the shit goes down and the Enterprise and the Titan, starts to fall apart, and that he's going to science the shit out of that and come up with some sort of extreme way of getting them out of danger again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank God it did it, because when he was like wanting to play it safe and not wanting to go, I was like, what is happening? Why? Like, I was like, is that what happens when you grow old? Like,
You just get scared.
Yes.
like even Geordi LaForge like doesn't want to go on an adventure. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I was kind of like disappointed. Even Worf was like, I'm a pacifist, let's murder people, I was like, let's go. So I'm super glad he gives in and actually does it. I would have wanted to see a little bit of like a glimmer of like, actually that's what he wanted to do all along, but you don't want to say it in front of his daughter, kind of, when you had a wild youth and you don't want your kids to know that.
I do like, though, what he walks in, right? He's like, but I know how. So he's like, I fucked
Yeah.
up, I'm in, right?
Yeah. But I'm glad he got in. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I need at least 4 episodes with Jordy in. I mean, what is this? I signed up
Yeah.
for that thing and he's just arriving now. Come on. So yeah. Let's
Well,
see
if he's
what
in,
happens
if he's in
next.
for the rest of the season, that's a 5-episode arc for him, right?
6,
Okay, the math.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
This is why I don't math.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess he's in for the rest of the season. I feel like once they bring people in, they're here to stay.
I mean,
So,
Worf and
I would
Rafi
agree.
were not here last episode, so
fair enough.
I feel, yeah.
no.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been weird to shoehorn them into that episode, but I get it. Yeah. Especially with an episodic TV and it being like almost like a film, but I would have liked to see them. I love them together. Yeah. Is that it? You good?
Oh,
N-
I didn't.
no, go.
Oh, I sorry.
What is happening?
I'm very distracted by the cat
Cats.
that is being a kaiju across
The
my desk.
butthole cut is happening. It exists, people. It's there.
I mean,
Cats.
having Jordy around is great because I mean we need to get everybody together and we're getting closer and closer to that. And also, if we didn't have Jordy on board, we wouldn't have gotten one of probably my second favorite scene with Shaw after the Jaws
Yes.
speech.
Yes.
Like it's so good because Shaw's this guy who's just not intimidated at all by Picard and Riker, like just whatever, like fuck them. But all of a sudden you put Geordi LaForge in front of him and he's Brad Boimler. Like
Brad Boimler.
He
Am
was
I
very
wrong?
Brad Boimler at that
He
moment.
really
he really
was,
was.
right?
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah. It's good having Geordi around.
Brad LaForge.
Yeah. Me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eric.
Man, having Jordy in the engine room again is going to be amazing. Mostly because he probably hasn't done it in such a long time. So there's going to be this amazing broship that grows between Shaw and him for the rest of the season. And because Shaw's not going to be on the bridge much, maybe.
He hasn't been a lot so far.
Right?
No.
So if he gets to be a grease monkey beside his hero, I'm here for that. That's amazing. It's what I
Waiter
want.
Right Shaw wants his LaForge plate signed.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, hey.
He wants
hey,
his Geordi
hey.
Bear signed.
He wants
because
his
he's,
Jordy Bear signed.
he's got Geordi Bear.
There
like,
it is.
We
Yeah.
know.
You're just jealous.
I'm done.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy when he finally was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm in. Let's go. It should have happened earlier, but I'll take it. And I love when I especially love that Sydney does get a couple of moments, thank God, to kind of tell him like, fuck you. Like this is my family and you taught me that. That's great. Like that's a big fuck you and I'm here for it. And I also like when he says the wrong tool, he's like, no, it's this tool. Why do you think I crashed so many speeders? Because even though I like to pilot, I still wanted to learn from you. Like, I do listen and like I do appreciate you, but I'm also my own person. I love that moment. But happy to see him there. Was also we're gonna get into it, but I was just also very emotional when he first saw Data. And I was like,
Yeah.
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 Data. I was like, oh, my heart. The bromance of Star Trek bromances. Maybe not. We had Spock and Kirk, but I don't know. It's a
That
good
was a
bromance.
love. This is a bromance.
Yeah, that was a love. This is just bros. Yeah. I'm here for
I
it.
don't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's fair.
there's a lot of Data and LaForge fanfic out there.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Oh man. Let's talk about the voyage home. Yes, the voyage home. So many meanings in this episode. First, we're going to talk about Seven, who got to have just this absolutely beautiful moment speaking with Jack about how Voyager made her name further out than any of the other relics in that museum, which is really cool, right? She also talked about how, and this is a big deal when, especially Todd Stashwick in our interview talking about how, Shaw dead names her, and she specifically says the words in this, which I think is very important, that she was reborn aboard Voyager, and that's very important, I think, to the non-binary and trans community. So that's a great line. And just specifically too, that Voyager was her home. How awesome was it for her to have that moment, Hawk?
that was there, that moment. I could actually feel my throat just kind of tighten up, and that it was very emotional, and the way she portrayed it, and that, because she can come off a little, Seven always comes off a little detached and cold and that, but like the warmth in her face and her voice when she was talking about it, it was like, it really actually made me tear up. I'm so glad she got that moment.
I love a lot of Star Trek, but Voyager hits differently. It's like
Yeah.
I'm always saying it's like the best stories.
Yeah.
Like there's so many just good stories. It's the Odyssey, it very it strikes emotions. And I mean, we've seen these like end credits with like, the USS Voyager was like the first one in the Fleet Museum. I was like, the better fucking show Voyager. We've been wanting to see Voyager in Prodigy through 20 episodes, and when they just like hinted at it, everybody lost their damn mind. I think Voyager has like such an emotional link to the fandom, way
Yeah.
more than I love TOS, but Voyager, it's my teddy bear. I don't know. It's the thing I put on TV, and I'm gonna watch like 17 episodes in a row for no reason, And that moment where she speaks about Voyager, we kind of forget that Seven is a Voyager character. So because she's so Picard somehow. And when she spoke about it, and the music, I was like, it was really emotional. It was so cool, and I was hoping that we could see a little bit Voyager, but even when we saw Voyager J in Discovery, everybody lost their mind. It's like, it's the thing. And let's bring more characters from Voyager. Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
I just love what you said real quick, Draft. I absolutely loved what you said about how it hits differently. And we've been having this conversation over the past few months. Like DS9 is like kind of my jam, but I've been watching so much Voyager. I'm like, am I changing allegiances? It does hit differently. And that's the first show. That's the first show where the crew absolutely felt like a family. The TNG crew were a tight unit, and a lot of them had friendships, but as a whole, were they a family? Maybe not so much. But Voyager, that was a family. And you feel that when Seven says it. Sorry, MC, go ahead.
Oh, no, I mean, it's totally fine. Voyager definitely was like the first family, because on DS9, they all wanted to do each other. So it wasn't very family.
It's so true.
It's another kind of
and I mean, I think so much stuff about Seven and Voyager has already been said. So I'm just going to point out just how nice a moment this was for her and Jack. Like, showing Jack as a ship spotter. Like, I mean, like that's really nice, a nice character moment for him. That kind of shows that, I mean, as he said earlier, that he didn't get everything from Bev. Like, there is some stuff that he got from Picard. Like, that's a very, like, not so much a Bev thing, I think. And it was just like this very sweet conversation between them, him identifying all of the different ships. And of course, we're all just pelted with Easter eggs. I mean, are they even Easter eggs at that point when they're being pointed right out at you?
No, but we'll say yes for this episode.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I really liked it. And as I think Giraffe said, or Julie, I can't remember at this point, you sometimes forget that or
Seven.
that Seven is a Voyager character, because they have, and because I mean, I think part of that is because she is so different on Picard. It almost feels like, it's like a Pokemon evolution of Seven.
Yeah.
But no, this is the same person. It's just, with 20 years or whatever on it. So yeah, it was very nice. Though it, for some reason, reminded me that Voyager was nearly destroyed by cheese. So,
hey, bring the. I teach you that, like, bring the cheese to the sick bay. Bring the cheese to the sick bay.
Oh my god, Eric,
I love this moment. I think it's my favorite part of this whole episode. And I liked a lot of this episode, because of Jordy. But when she's talking to Jack, there's sort of this, let's see how much this kid knows. She's sort of proud of him, like they're becoming a little bit buddy. But when she starts talking about Voyager and her voice gets softer, and there's like that twinkle in her eyes. Man, that was some amazing acting. And goosebumps. Like Hawk said, it like you get a frog in your throat because of how impassioned she is for this ship that made her her new self and brought her home. Like it's a beautiful moment. I loved it.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I'm going to say a quick hello to Jeremy Duncan. We have a first-time viewer in the collective chat on YouTube tonight, so welcome, Jeremy.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was losing my little 90s baby mind during this entire scene because the Enterprise A got shown before Voyager, and the Voyager A is a very big milestone in my life. It's the first starship that I really remember because of Star Trek 6, and it was after my mom died. So when I just saw the Enterprise A and there was no like talk about it, that's when I was like, I'm gonna fucking cry, and I get goosebumps every time because it's such like a major part of like my childhood. But then just everything Giraffe just said, like Voyager. When Seven talks about this, it was like she was in Astrometrics on Voyager talking to Naomi Wildman about this for a moment, right? Like that's what that scene felt like. And it was so fucking beautiful. And just I'm getting emotional fucking talking about it. It is just such a TV moments like this are rare these days, and it's just so it's fulfilling and it's beautiful, and Jerry Ryan is so amazing that she can play Seven in this new way that can feel these emotions that she couldn't necessarily feel on Voyager, and it just it hit every note for me so perfectly. I'm so happy that we got this scene. With honestly with all the ships, I know it's fan service, but like the Defiant, DS9 is another big part of my childhood, right? Like father figures. The Enterprise A is feelings of like getting over my mom dying, and Seven and Voyager is all about coming home and just like, oh, I could go on. This could be a whole nother
But
episode. So
that's the thing too. It's like Voyager. It's you know, a founding story. It's like
Yeah.
that story of the ship that is lost. It's like something that, you know, I think humans have been telling over and over again for millennia, basically. Like the person who
Yeah.
is lost trying to go home. That's why it hits differently. It's just part of like it's keeping these tropes of founding text that are important
Yeah.
for all literature, you know, Western
Yeah.
literature. And I think that's why we vibe so much with it too. I mean, we all love the Odyssey, like a good Odyssey, you know?
agreed.
Like-
Totally.
And I have to say, in terms of like the whole fan service thing, like, you know, what's fan service? Well, yeah, like fan service is not like there seems to be like this very negative connotation with fan service. But the thing is, like, if it's done well, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Boom.
Like, because I mean, it's supposed to be pleasing to the fans. So yeah, like as long as they're doing it, like not just like, you know, here's like this random thing that you remember that does not fit. This fits to the story. So
The negativity to fan service is that it assumes that there's just this insulated group of people that the show is trying to talk to, and that when they don't really realize that, like, you know, this audience for Star Trek has just, you know, evolved for years and years and years and keeps replacing itself, you know, generation after generation.
Yeah.
And they have nothing to worry about.
Agreed. Yeah. We actually have another first-time viewer in the chat, David Coley. I, too, am a first-time viewer. Good stuff. Voyager is what I really grew up on. My mom passed away when I was young, too. Talk about bonding. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Really, that's beautiful. Thank you. Let's talk about some trivia. I was going to go to a different talk about, but trivia very quickly. Last week, we asked what Ro Laren asked Will Riker to tell Jean-Luc before she joined the Maquis in the TNG episode Preemptive Strike. The correct answer was, I'm sorry. And our winner this week is one of our amazing Patreon collective members, Colin D. Congratulations, Colin.
Good job. Yay.
Yeah, good
Colin
job.
is just like gearing up for the next trivia.
Right? Right. Got one. Giraffe, you've been cloaked for a bit. You've been on that Romulan Warbird. So can you take this
I was
week's
here all along though.
all along though? Can you take this week's trivia question? It's a gimme this week. I want lots of people to answer, so it's a bit of a gimme, but go ahead.
Okay. Where is it? I found it. The question this week is, What was the registry number for the USS New Jersey?
Simple, easy. You could just go and screen cap that real quick. Email your answers to trivia@strangenewpod.com or DM me on Discord. It's that simple. Let's talk about the bounty. The bounty and Jack being the bounty. Oh my God, the whales. So much to say about this. Being the weird doctor thief hybrid that he is. He enlists Sydney and Alondra to help him steal the HMS Bounty, the whale one that crash landed in San Francisco Bay with Kirk and Spock and Bones and Scotty and the doctor from the 80s. Oh man, what? They steal the cloak. They install it aboard Titan. What did we think about this bit of thievery, right? And being able to, this is how they are able to pick up the away team from Daystrom using technology from what some people think is the best Trek movie of all time.
It is. What do you mean, some people?
I don't think so. But.
The correct people think.
Correct people, the good people, the right people.
Look, if you're gonna do fan service and incorporate it into a plot like this is the way to do it. And the bounty, Star Trek 4, the cloaking device, installing it onto the Titan, even though it breaks so many rules, it was great. I've really enjoyed this bit, and getting Sydney in on it too was awesome. Yeah. Let Jack lead this because he's obviously got he's got the strategy down.
I really thought they were gonna steal a ship.
I did too.
Have been way fucking hilarious because it was making sense. They're talking about how all the ships talk to each other, which we know from Prodigy, right? But apparently they don't know it. How? I know it and they don't. So I was like, oh, they're gonna steal an old ship because then there's not this technology on it and they can just bail. Well, no, we go back to the good old tradition of stealing things and implanting them on your starship, even if it makes no sense. I mean, Enterprise incident, everybody.
Yes.
Just giant ball that you screw on, and I cannot plug my iPhone to the right plug if I don't have it, But you can plug a Romulan clocking device on the Enterprise or a Klingon one on the Titan. It's fine.
You've got Geordie LaForge. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Universal plugs, people. No worries. I loved it. I love every time that they make a reference to the one with the whales, and I have to say that even my husband, who's not a huge Trekkie, was like, the one with the whales. And it's actually, and I'm gonna let MC make her point when the cloaking device, because I think she's right. And I was like, when she told me that, I was like, holy shit, yeah, that's fucking true. So yeah, you're on.
Yeah, I was really worried. It's like, oh shit, is Giraffe gonna mention this, and then I won't have
Not like
anything to
this.
say again.
It's not my ID. Not
Yeah.
my ID.
The Defiant was right there.
It was.
Oh yeah.
Defiant was right there, and it's gonna have a cloaking device on it that is 100 years more advanced than the one on the Klingon bird of prey.
Hold on. I'm gonna
And
get.
it's
I'm gonna
matching
get.
Starfleet too.
Hold on. I'm gonna get super nerdy for a second. That was a cloaking device on loan from the Romulan Star Empire. That cloaking device is
You
not on
think they
board that
took it
ship
back?
anymore.
Are you
fuck Yeah,
sure?
they did. Are you
Are you
kidding?
sure?
The Romulans didn't take their cloaking device back? Of course they did.
I mean,
Okay, if there is a Romulan bird of prey there, then
But it probably doesn't have his
Yeah.
cloak.
yeah, no, I bet historical
Just saying.
accuracy, they're gonna have the cloaking device on there. I mean, I
Yeah.
know why they did it, because the thing is, it's a much better piece of fan service. But on I guess you can fan wank it that way, where it's not on there anymore. But
And I mean, we do know that the Roman cloaking device way superior to a Klingon cloaking device. Come on.
yeah, I mean, just in terms of the plug and play, it would be a lot easier using one that is already on a Starfleet vessel, probably. I don't know. I mean, this is all made up, so I don't know how it works. But yeah, no, I mean, it was cute. They putting a cloaking device on it. I mean, at this point, I think, why does Starfleet still have this treaty where they're not putting cloaking devices on things?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It seems really
We know it
odd.
goes away in the 32nd century.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing too is like, to be honest, a cloaking device is cool, but then you cannot see anything either.
Well,
So
yeah.
you're flying blind, which
It's
is a
it's really weird
thought.
science.
I know. I play World on Star Trek Online, and it's a badge when you're cloaked because you can't do anything. So yeah, let's see.
I thought it was a cute thing. I never thought of the Defiant though, so now that sort of breaks my head. But yeah,
What I'm here for.
I thought it was a cute moment. I thought them winking at each other like, we're gonna be the bad kids right now. We're gonna go steal a cloaking device and jam it into this new machine. I thought it was cute. I'm like Hawk. I thought it was fun.
For all the people in the chat saying that the USS Sao Paulo, which became the Defiant, that is the Defiant that is at the museum, didn't have a cloaking device. Memory Alpha and Memory Beta both state that Defiant did have a cloaking device. So you're all
Yes.
wrong. You're all wrong. It's still not there. The Romulans still took that shit back. But
We visited the museum. We checked.
we checked. It's there, but it's not there. But it was there, but it's not there.
If the Romulans aren't going to take it, why wouldn't they take back their bird of prey? Like, I'm just saying. Like,
It's old. They don't need
It's
it.
old. They don't need that shit. I'm not going to say anything about this. I loved it. It was
Yeah.
great. You guys hit all the great points about it. I do want the story, and we talked about this briefly. I want the story of Starfleet looking endlessly at the bottom of San Francisco Bay for this thing when the cloak re-engaged. I want
Yeah.
that story.
I want to see
It sounds
that.
like it could be a really good ghost story.
That
right?
was my question. Like, how
Yeah.
the hell did they take it from bottom of the bay all the way there? Are you imagining the craziness of this? Like, they transported it? Like,
Oh, it could be like lower decks that had to transport it out of there.
Yeah.
a bunch of California class.
Pop goes the android. Star Trek at its finest, an away team mission. I was just stoked to have an away team mission. There was Worf Riker banter, which had me in fucking all the giggles. What do we think about the search for what the Changeling stole? The brief use of Moriarty and the revelation that Alton Sung built one more android to house the minds of Data, Lore, Sung himself, B4, and Lol. Hawk.
The banter between Worf and Riker, awesome. You know, especially with the new killer Tribble and that trying to take a piece out of Worf. The brief use of Moriarty, yeah, this went against what I originally predicted, like what he was going to be used for, and that, as like a consultant,
Yeah.
But it does make sense, that like the Daystrom Institute to protect like everything that they've got there would use a killer AI, and that was adaptive and think on its own. And that's Moriarty. So it made sense. I did love like the whole thing with the musical notes and that, and the reference to Bishop Farpoint, and that was great. The Andrew, yes, Data is sort of back, but then again, so is Lore, so is Sung, so is B4, and so is Lol.
Giraffe just wants to fucking die right now.
I know.
Brent Spiner
yeah.
wants to flex that muscle before you can never act again, I guess. I don't know.
It's like Masks all over it again. Like, like that.
Oh my
whole
God.
thing. I just rewatched it like 2 days ago, and I was like, he does such a great job for a crazy ass episode, by the way.
But he does
Very
a good
hot.
he does a good job in this. I mean, like, when they activate him and that, and it's like you can tell it's like when it's actually Data and when it's actually Lore.
That was
right?
very well done.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just simple, like it's simple facial expressions and a certain like tilt of his head, so like I still got to give it to Brent Spiner and that, he knows these characters and
Yeah.
how to perform them.
If he doesn't do a Hallie Todd impersonation, I'm going to flip a table.
Who?
Hallie Todd, who played Lol.
Oh, okay. I hope so. That would be really cool. That'd be really
sad.
cool. It would be sad, but it'd be cool.
It would be sad,
Yeah.
but I want it.
Cool.
Draft.
Yeah, so first of all, like Worf Riker, yeah, I mean they had teased that scene in the
Yeah.
first trailers, so
Mhm.
I knew it was coming. It's fun. Too bad it's like just this, It's just
I did
cool.
like the like still intimidated by the killer Tribble and like the whole like
Yeah.
poking back thing. I thought that was funny. I don't know.
Yeah, the AI, like to be honest, like last episode, was it last episode, like with the Vulcans, when they were like, "Oh, there's an AI," I was like, "It's fucking Moriarty." I'm like, okay. And then it's a killer AI that is like incredible, but get hacked by like a random Vulcan that lives in the streets. Like, come on, Daystrom. Like, the hell. Like, is
That's
you
what
know, I
gang.
think.
That,
Go ahead.
that's
Tell me.
what criminals do. In that, if
Mm.
if
No,
somebody thinks that they have the perfect impenetrable
No.
system,
That's why
a
you
crim-
hire a criminal to check
How many
your-
fucking people have broken into the Batcave?
I have a question though. Is Moriarty the AI guarding it, or
No.
is Data?
It was,
was
Data.
Data.
It was
No,
Data.
is
It was
guarding it.
Data who
So Data
activated
got
Moriarty.
hacked by
Yeah,
a
yeah.
random Vulcan that lives in the streets. I feel like if you live in that, universe, and you want to create like an insane way to protect something with an AI, you're gonna ask a Vulcan to check it. Like, no. Like, you're gonna ask the Vulcan Science Academy, like the most like intense like crypto person or whatever, to like check your thing, even if it's an offsite. You have a random Vulcan under the hand. Come on, like this guy. What was it, Kryn? Like, just like with
Kryn,
like
yeah.
two like half USB keys, like in like Spider-Man the Multiverse, like just hack the thing. What is it, like the bungle or come on. So I mean, I knew I wanted to see more what was in the Daystrom Institute though, because there were like
Yeah.
cool stuff like
So fucking cool. Yeah.
like, and again, like Brent Spiner.
Where's the dirt?
I hope we'll know someday. Like, it's just like they're like, please don't say anything, and you'll be able to play every single characters you ever played in Star Trek plus more in one character. And it was like, okay, you get one more year. Like, that's totally what happened.
MC.
Okay, so talking about fan service before, doing fan service well. This scene is so complicated because there's some really good fan service in here, and then there is some fan service that is not done so well. All of the stuff like that we will get into in the Easter egg hunt.
I'm saying,
A+.
I specifically, save that for later.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning that, but all of that stuff, A+. But then once we get into the AI, it might have worked had they not put Moriarty right up front in the trailer,
Mhm.
because basically they showed his entire scene,
Mhm.
basically. So that really kind of ruins it for me. And also the fact that he didn't really have a point other than, hey, look, here's Moriarty. You remember Moriarty, right? There were 2 episodes with him from TNG. And so I didn't love that. And it seems like, why would Data bring up Moriarty if because Data recognized them? Like, is that lore coming out? Like, showing them Moriarty? Like what is the logic for this? This doesn't actually really work. And it makes there's no point to it other than to have Moriarty there. And I'm not sure about this whole Data lore soon before LOL
It's masks.
thing.
Just masks.
Kind of mad that Juliana Taylor isn't in there. But I like the whole point is just because that we want to get the entire cast together, and they've gone through so much to kill Data twice already, and they said it several times in this episode.
So many times.
We saw him die twice. So it really feels like they're pushing things. And I mean, like, why is Alton Soon dead all of a sudden? Like, this, did we know about this?
Isn't he super old?
The guy from
No,
the
I don't
first
think he was
season,
that from season 1.
The guy from season 1 is Brent Spiner's age. Like,
Yeah.
the whole point of him was so that they didn't have to put him in
There's
makeup.
been so many
Yeah.
Brent Spiner.
And
This
so
is-
many
this is fair.
Soons. Yeah.
This is fair.
Oh, yeah, the guy from the Orchid Planet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he was making the golem, right? Because
He might have
was
been
gonna
dying
die.
already.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
he had
Yeah.
something, but yeah,
Maybe.
and all of a sudden he has like some extra, like he's able to make this up. Sure, why not? Whatever. We just want to get Data in, and we need to find a way to have
Him
Brent
not
Spiner
dead.
be older. And I love like this whole thing where it's like, we've given him like the ability to age now, and it's like, Data always had the ability to age. Why did people always forget this? Like, they wrote that into the character from the very beginning, that he had like an aging like system. But whatever. We'll see what happens with the data lore soon, whatever, in the next episode, because we barely got any in this episode. But I would like to see him be lol.
Yeah. Worf Riker banter, A+, loved it. I like that it's evolved a little bit just because of where they are in their journey, and I like that they still Riker knows where to push that button. He
Sure
knows
does.
it. So great. The search for the changeling, what the changeling stole, that whole heist thing. I like that they've hit so many different genres this season, and the heist genre, I didn't mind it. I would have liked Moriarty to actually be the AI, the one in the cube. That would have been way better. Then they wouldn't have had to do all that silliness there. And Brent Spiner's got a Brent Spiner, man.
Yeah.
He was great. I liked it. I look forward, well, I don't know. I wonder if they're gonna do some of the, Lore's pretending to be Data thing later in the season with this whole, the multiple thing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think that Jordy being here is gonna be here? He's gonna be here to like prevent this. I want to see some Jordy Data.
Yeah, me too.
If they're gonna do it, that's what I want to see as well. Yeah.
But,
I was again in tears with the Worf Riker banter. Just Riker being like, "Why can't I make fun of my best friend anymore? Like, why won't he poke me back? Like, what's going on?
Back.
Oh, come on! I don't understand the world anymore." I love that. I'm furious about Moriarty. I'm furious. If you're gonna have that spot, like everybody just said, it's gonna be that spot and that spot only. Don't put it in the fucking trailer, because it would have been amazing otherwise. Would it have made sense? Not really.
Yeah.
But would it have been cool and would I have been surprised and liked it? I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But like, dude, that is literally all of it. Like, don't put that in the trailer. Trailers these days are out of fucking control. Just point that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Data.
Wherever's original
It's
moment.
so hard for me because Data shouldn't have died in Nemesis, and I really hated the Picard season 1 finale. But then I really liked Jean-Luc and Data's moment in the Picard season 1 finale, and now he's back, and I'm like, I just want to see Geordi and Data hug it out. That's what I want to see. Like, do I like it? We'll see how it goes. I don't know where I'm at with it yet. If they can make it work and it's a good story and it makes a lot of sense why they're all in there, and we'll see. I'm withholding judgment. We also finally get confirmation that Vadic is a changeling, and she not only captures Will, but, and I'm using air quotes here, captures Deanna as well. Thoughts on this, Hawk?
Yeah, this was kind of confusing. I hope this isn't the way we get introduced to Deanna in this series, and that,
But it is.
kind of.
Oh,
But
shut
it
up.
is.
No.
I know. It might not be. It might just be the changeling pretending to be her, and that. Strategy wise, sure. I guess it was a way to make Will do what they wanted. I think it was already confirmed that Vadic was a changeling in that.
Yeah, when she cut
Some
her head.
people thought that might be like a bit of changeling on her. Like, people still weren't quite sure if she was or wasn't.
No.
What?
Yeah.
She cut her freaking
I
head.
know.
Cut her hand off and that.
I knew.
I'll reserve judgment until I see the next episode and see where they go with this and that. It was okay in that.
Listen.
Oh no.
So I'm here for the heist. I'm like, I'm in, son of a bitch. That was fun. Then like they just like sacrifice Riker of like old people. Like I'm like, come on. You couldn't like just like I don't know. It was weird. I'm here for the plot. Like Riker getting beaten up by changelings. Sure, let's go. And then like they showed Deanna try, and then literally I went, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. So we've seen Deanna twice. One, she's a pissed off mother, and then she's a helpless,
Captive.
prisoner. And I'm like, come on. What is it? What is gonna be after like mind rape? Like, can we do something else with Deanna?
Yeah.
She was so good in Nepenthe. Like, so good. Like, they finally gave her something, and then now she's been Come
She's
on,
the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yep.
we agree that's not her.
No, it's a
Come on.
changeling. She's a changeling.
That's
I mean, I hope it's not her because if it's really her,
If it is,
just
it's fucked.
sucks. I
Yeah.
mean, ugh, like. What was that noise?
oh, that was pain. That was pain.
My arm isn't long enough for the jerk off motion that is in my soul right now. Seriously.
Get the fuck.
First of all, I honestly I think it is Deanna. I think they're actually going to be this reductive in introducing Deanna in this way. And that pisses me off so goddamn much. I just I'm going over to Angrish now. As Giraffe said, it's like we have not seen Deanna except for like that one little tiny scene where she's just being a mom, and now she's here now, and it's not she's not even kidnapped because she's because she's a competent Starfleet officer. She's kidnapped specifically because it was mentioned earlier that they're going after Picard's intimates and allies. So she is kidnapped specifically because of her connection to Picard and Riker. And so it's basically they fridged her without killing her. And just that whole, it's, oh my God. Considering how many problems we've been having with the way they're writing women in Picard season 3 and season 2 and 1 as well, that they would do this to one of the legacy characters, one of the main characters. She is the last one introduced, and she is the one that is in peril. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, and she's been like a mother and a divorcee too. I forgot about that.
Well, they're not divorced.
No, but I mean, like that was
estranged. Yeah,
Estranged, yeah, fair,
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 love you.
Yeah,
on
okay,
a break.
And now
Fair.
she's the damsel in distress. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, poor Deanna Troy. Like,
Mhm.
why do they hate her so much?
Yeah.
Why?
Eric.
Yeah, like I hope she's a changeling, and I really hope it's a changeling because the damsel in distress, like everyone had said, like it's terrible, and you want to make a deeper cut. It shouldn't have been Troy. It should have been Kestra, and then Deanna Troy goes out there in like a Linda Hamilton rage to find Picard and get her kid back. Like fuck, that would have been amazing.
I would have
That
been
would've
okay with
been
that.
Great.
Yeah.
You're hired.
Thank you.
Well, here's the deal. This is what I was gonna say. I'm hoping and I'm very convinced that it's a changeling simply because if you're going after the people that they care about most, Kestra would immediately be in that cell with Deanna. You have his kid and his wife. He's giving up every single fucking detail, but you don't know enough about him that it's actually them.
Well,
that is a changeling. At least I fucking hope so.
Here is the problem that I have with that. I'm sorry, I had 2 points, but I can only really think of one of them now. They weren't specifically going after somebody to hit Riker. They were going after somebody to hit Picard. Kestra's not going to hit Picard the same way Deanna would.
I don't know because
and
that's his niece basically, right?
I just
Like,
remembered what the second point is. We don't know if they have Kestra or not. Like we
true,
they
true,
could.
but it would have
That's
been such an emotional moment to show that at the end of this episode.
Mhm.
And listen, like I really hope that my hope is that this is very easily like Will told Deanna in that episode where he contacts her after Titan gets out of the nebula, like, by the way, go to our safe spot, right? Because they're gonna come after you. I'm hoping that's the case, and Will knows immediately it's not her because otherwise it's fucking horrible treatment of women, and I'm not here for it. So please be a fucking changeling. Like, let's.
I have
Come
no
on.
faith in them.
We'll see. I mean, listen, it's been a great season otherwise, except for a lot of the writing of the women. Hopefully this is
It's a pretty
MacGuffin.
big asterisk, though.
No, it is. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's a son.
Good point. Finally, guys, with not Data being aboard the Titan, Geordi activates them, and it is revealed that the changelings stole the remains of Jean-Luc Picard. Pretty big deal, yeah? Hawk.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. Like I'm hoping that they have a clear-cut plan going, to the end in that, because obviously the Jack is important to the changelings in that he's Picard's DNA. There's something going on with him. He has some sort of connection to the changelings, and that it's not just Irumodic syndrome, and that might be the catalyst for it, but there is something more going on. So I'm praying that they have a plan in that. It's like, or else why do they need Picard's DNA in that? Like, people say about because of his Borg integration and that, but then again, wouldn't Seven make a much more viable target if you're interested in like human Borg hybrids?
It's a
But
good
maybe
point.
the aromatic syndrome like does something else,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean,
Like I don't know.
Somebody
Changes
in the
syndrome.
chat, I can't remember who, actually suggested that the Irumodic syndrome could be caused by assimilation, and it
Mhm.
was passed on. Didn't hear anything about it before he was assimilated.
Yeah, wasn't that? I think didn't they talk about this in Picard season 1, like about how the Irumodic syndrome was caused in that because of the his
Did they?
assimilation.
oh, I don't remember that, but
I would have
maybe.
to rewatch Picard season 1, and that's.
Mm.
I mean,
It's not
neither of
gonna
those
happen,
are-
is it?
Come on, there's some Tal Shirani honeypot in there. It's not
That's fair.
terrible.
Well, I just want to watch those scenes. So
Hey.
Right now, my curiosity is way up in that. Why do they need his remains?
Okay, so that shot where we see Raffi and they have like the body of Kirk in the Daystrom Institute, and I'm like, oh, they stole Jean-Luc Picard's body. Like right at that moment, I was like, oh, okay, I gotcha. It's first of all, it's weird. Like, why the fuck the Daystrom Institute is like just keeping like remains around? Like, because like I suppose Kirk was exposed to the Nexus and Picard to the Borg. so
Kirk's
there's,
been
like, some-
exposed to a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah.
True, and he has absolutely every single space MST in the quadrant. So I mean, that should be interesting for studying, I suppose. I don't know. I was expecting something more exciting, but then that makes sense with like them wanting Jack because it's like the
Genetics.
closest thing from him,
Mhm.
you know, and. But like, I'm not super. I think it's a good plot. I'm just like, not super into it. I was not like, oh my god, they got like Picard's body. Ah! Like, we're just like, okay.
Well-
I hope they're just bringing back Chinzon. Bring back Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Where is he? I want him. I want him in like that sparkly green Romulan cape. Let's go. Yes.
well, I have a theory.
It could be bunnies.
I think that it is standard practice in the Daystrom Institute to get Enterprise captains. Because
Archer and like Pike.
it's
No, Pike, they don't have Pike.
basically since Spock, like that's been standard practice because they always come back. There's a horrible, like all of the captains come back, so that's
keep
the
them on
standard
ice?
practice for them now. They keep them on ice. Yeah,
Pike's still on Talos 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, Discovery season 5, we're gonna see Pike.
I want Pike and I want the Doctor coming back from his like
Damn
the
right,
double Doctor.
damn right.
We'll
But
talk
yeah,
about this.
no, the remains of Jean-Luc, I didn't see it coming. Just because I wasn't paying enough attention, I don't think. I did not notice Kirk. But kind of as soon as they he started saying Jean-Luc Picard, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Mhm.
And I don't know the order of events. I don't know if they kidnapped Jack and then they stole Picard's body, or if they stole Picard's body and then it's like, oh, well, let's find his son because I don't know. I guess they know about him being Picard's son. But I definitely think that there is a connection between like this whole Jack sleeper agent thing and taking Picard's body. I think it's like maybe doing experiments on the corpse and then being able to apply that to Jack.
Well, okay, sorry, Eric.
No, it's okay.
But if they have the real Beverly, right? Because the Beverly we see is a changing. So they have real Beverly. And now they have Jean-Luc Picard's DNA. Maybe they're trying to reproduce a Jack to do something that they need. That's why because they can't catch the one existing, so they're just making one.
So basically, they're gonna like Doctor Mr. Sinister it, like create a Nate Gray type of situation from Cable.
Wow.
Yes, they're like the Romans did it before. Let's do it like.
But all in the
Let's
time
do some
before like Federation Day or whatever it's called. That's a fast time to make a
Frontier
baby.
Day.
Frontier Day.
Frontier Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eric? Yeah. What to say about this? It was neat. I didn't expect it. I don't know what to think about it, to be honest. It's just like, oh, okay. Maybe Jack is like the key to unlock something in Locutus, maybe, or maybe the reintegration of Borg circuitry. I don't know.
Yeah. So I hate this. But I like it if they do it right. But right now I hate this because this show, since season 1, even though season 2 was still not great, has done a good job of ignoring the fact that Jean-Luc died in season 1, and I like that. And I'd like to remain believing that Jean-Luc didn't die in season 1 because it was fucking stupid. Sorry, not sorry. So
That's fair.
I like it if it's going, and I know a lot of people in chat have said they're sick of the Borg route. But if they're going to do this, it better fucking be the Borg route, in my opinion. It makes sense, especially with Borg sperm and all the sperm shit we've been talking about. It makes sense in that way because Jean-Luc Picard, Jean-Luc Picard does not have Borg sperm. His other body still has Borg implants in it, his dead body. So, again, a mixture of Borg and Changeling seems like a pretty dangerous cocktail. I'm going to go to one Easter egg in our hunt because it pertains to this, and that is the fact that Daystrom also holds a Borg vinculum, which is what makes the collective the collective. And I think that, even though it is an Easter egg, ties in somehow. I think it's the Borg. And if it's not, I don't like this. I don't like reminding us that Jean-Luc died. So we'll see where it goes. I'm going to not say final thoughts because we have given more than our thoughts for this episode. And I'm going to go right into Easter eggs. I have a big list because it's a part of the show. Did I miss anything that you guys want to bring up real quick before I read all of these? I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah.
I've not read it. I'll tell you after.
Daystrom holds Shinzon's theta radiation. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
The USS Mestral and the USS Trumbull are at the beginning. The Mestral is that it's
the Vulcan.
The Vulcan from Enterprise.
Yes.
Yeah. I will always know who Mestral is.
Come on, we're like Carbon Creek, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Trumbull is named after the special effects guy from the motion picture. I think Doug Trumbull. In Daystrom, they had the Genesis 2 device, and they played James Horner's score over that.
They did. Yeah.
The Crow, I think you said you had that there, right? I guess
no,
it's not really.
But it's Data.
Data, yeah. And then I think "Therefore I Am" was the last line Moriarty said before he went into the little cube.
Yep.
That's it.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Daystrom holds Shinzon's theta radiation bomb. We've been talking about how Shinzon could theoretically be a part of this. Pretty neat. Starfleet recreated Genesis because that's a good fucking idea, as Eric said. Genesis 2. They also recovered Kirk's dead body from Viridian 3. And they play the Boldly Go jingle there. I already mentioned the Borg vinculum, which is at the heart of every single Borg vessel. It makes the collective be a collective. Worf comes face to face with the genetically modified killer Tribble.
Again, a very good idea, right? They're already like
right.
Modified.
Do you know if they escaped, the universe would be destroyed in a day? Yeah. Literally, it would be done.
Yeah.
It would. Sorry, not sorry.
Here's a question: Who genetically modified this killer triple? Like, is it the Federation? Is it the
Alton
Klingons? Like, who
Sung,
did it?
Section 31 killed him. He wasn't dying. They killed him after he genetically modified
they
a
were
tribble.
like, fuck you.
Fuck this guy. It was Edward's great-great-great-grandson.
Yeah.
Then the Fleet Museum holds the USS Defiant, the USS New Jersey, the Enterprise A, the USS Enterprise NX-01 refit, officially made canon twice now. A Klingon D7 battlecruiser, or maybe it's the Gorkin from Star Trek VI. It could be. Athan Prime is also the name of a very important 12 Monkeys character. I won't tell you who it is because it's a very big spoiler if you've never seen it, but watch that show. So yeah, when they arrive at Athan Prime, there's some awesome notes from the TMP score, the motion picture, more music from First Contact when Geordi comes up on screen, which actually ends up is the Borg Queen theme a little bit, which is interesting. Ships being fully integrated is right out of Battlestar Galactica. You don't fucking do it. It's a bad idea. This is how the Cylons won. Also, Hangar Bay 12. I have no idea, but I'm guessing that is a huge MacGuffin for either the Enterprise D or the Enterprise E being in there. They're going to eventually take it. Yeah.
So I have another one. People in on Discord were saying that one of the captains calling their first officer Starbuck was a Battlestar
I wasn't
reference.
sure
It is
if
Moby Dick.
It is Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moby Dick, yeah.
Yep. Speaking of attack
I'm
triples,
like how Starbuck became like a Battlestar Galactica reference and not a Moby Dick reference. Like, what happened?
let's rate this one out of 10 killer attack triples. We'll go in a reverse order. Eric.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. I enjoyed it, but the last bit with Deanna Troi just totally like sour taste in my mouth. I was like, oh, that's a bad way to end that.
MC.
I'm gonna give it a 7.9. The Deanna stuff really bothered me, and just there was enough stuff in it that really bothered me that it's like I'm still in for the season, but this episode was not the moment. It was not it.
Hawk.
That giraffe was next.
Giraffe.
Thank you.
It happens
Like,
once
it's
an
a
episode.
tradition.
It's the tradition.
It's tradition. I'd say 7.5. I liked the story overall, but I was disappointed by Jordy and Deanna were like my big characters. Like, I like them. And I don't know. Just like some like minor decisions could have influenced it to be so much better.
Yep.
So let's see what the last 4 episodes have in them.
Indeed. Over on the chat, we have a 7.5.
Hawk?
See, now I skipped Hawk because I skipped you. Hawk.
I'll give it an 8. I think it got more right than it got wrong. Although, like, definitely take some points off for what it did get wrong. So 8.
Nice. Over on the chat, we have still sitting at 7.5 after my rewatch from Chris. Kevin Richardson, 7 out of 10. Digital Sean, it's a 7. Tara, 8.0. 8 Mirror Universe Tribbles, 10 out of 10 from Rude Parakeet. Michael Kwan, 8.5 glasses of sour mead from 2 5-glass bottles of Chateau Picard Bordeaux. Jeff Vaughn, 11 epophs.
Oh, the epoch.
The epoch? Okay.
Did you get Haven, or did I just completely miss that?
I missed it. I will rank this episode 9.975 tribbles mated with Pike's hair. That's disturbing as hell.
And epoch, just like for general education, these are little like cute animals that lives on New Romulus, and you get it in
Oh,
Star Trek
cool.
Online. So maybe
Aw.
it's something in Star Trek for real, but I know it from Star Trek Online because I have one. It's so cute. I printed it.
Wayner gives this one an 8, higher if they would have stolen the ship. Greggy Gilgan, why all the Troy negativity? Because she was used
Because
as
she
a
deserves
damsel of
better.
distress. It deserves better.
We love
8.5 out of 10. I'm gonna give this one a 7.75 out of 10.
The decimals.
7.75. I liked it a lot, but I really don't like what they did with Troy, and the Geordi stuff threw me off. So every time I watch this episode, I liked it more, which is telling of this season so far. We'll see what happens next week. Let's get in to the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Comms, get me the dock master. Control tower reading, Commander.
And we asked Trek Twitter what they thought of this week's episode of Picard, and who wants to take it this week?
Me,
I'll take it.
me.
Oh, I heard Giraffe first. Giraffe, oh my gosh, she's got to catch up. That's who I heard first. I'm sorry.
No, she was just glaring at me. So
Oh,
So 58% said a wondrous bounty. 23% said lots of good lore here. 13% said it's been a weird week. Must be Tuesday. 6% said pop goes the episode.
haha.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's divided.
Yep. By the way, thank you to Michael Kwan once again, 2 weeks in a row for these awesome puns. I was going to come up with some, but then he posted them. I'm like, I like yours. I better than what I was going to post. So
Pun master. Nice.
the pun master. Let's get the mailbag going very quickly because we are so over time.
Oh my god.
MC with Captain Idols, please.
Captain Idol wrote, my heart to all of the amazing starships revealed in the space dock. The episode was a ship porn fan's wet dream. I
mean-
nearly read on far.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Eric, you take Chris's, please.
Chris wrote, "How many soon?" So TNG, that it's fun, but there were some cheap moments through this that felt like fan service filler that didn't pay off very well. Geordi feels like the most legit character in this episode, both in character and in acting. The TN cheese worked for me, but I'm really still bothered by the writing for Bev and our other badass female characters. The crash stuff could have done without Jack, and it would have made her story even stronger. Weakest of the season, but still fun and very much a TNG paced and written episode, for better or worse in parts. 7.5, Shaw migraines.
Dig it. I'll take Havens. My initial reaction to this episode was a lot stronger, but I would say absolutely a great episode. If there was any one episode we have seen to date that I feel could have easily broken the 60-minute slot, I feel like it was this one. I have a feeling when we get the Blu-rays, this will be one of the ones with the most deleted scenes. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah.
Huck, can you take Tara's, please?
Yes, Tara wrote. Last week I went way over, so this
Yeah,
week's
you did.
so this week's word count is lower. This is my first real limerick. I hope it does the trick, but it's me, so there's an extra line to discover. Daystrom's got Genesis, GMO tribbles, plus Kirk. Bev's got a treatment for Jack's syndrome to work. Riker has perfect pitch. Connie class scratches Jack's itch. But will our hero stop Vadic from going berserk? P.S. No snacks in the research area, or you're a jerk.
That's so good.
I love it.
That was
That's
so
so
good.
cute.
I love it.
More
Oh.
mailbags in Ryan.
Giraffe with Shatterhands, please.
Shatterhand wrote, while this episode's spacing was a bit erratic and it was packed to the gills with fan service, I still think it was an enjoyable ride from start to finish. So much to say, but I'll keep it to 2 highlights. It felt so great to see Lever Burton back as Commodore Geordi LaForge, and I grinned from ear to ear when the Enterprise A appeared on screen. A solid 8 killer tribbles out of 10.
And Wainers, please, MC.
The best part of the episode for me was the bounty. For the first time in almost 40 years, they showed the bounty. Jack mentioning the whales was a bonus. I was hoping they were going to steal the bounty or drag the Enterprise or Voyager out of mothballs, but I guess stealing the cloaking device was faster and easier. Was it? The rest of the episode was great too, but the bounty.
Eric
Mike-
with Michaels, please.
Michael Kwan wrote, Shaw continues to be a bit lost in all the high-stakes shenanigans, but he gets to meet his idol, Commodore Geordi LaForge. Vadic raises her level of intensity with a great monologue, without quoting Melville, and by a great delivery of a single word, hi. Seven gets a sight of her home, and that plucks the heartstrings of every Voyager fan. It's not an episode without problems, but the writers have tried to plaster over it being a bridge episode with plenty of fan treats. This episode is the equivalent of the comedian riffing in front of the curtain while the stage is reset for the next big dance number.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colin wrote, so much good stuff using the bounty's cloak. Very clever trick. Moriarty as the security. I can't say security, apparently. Moriarty as the security was absolutely brilliant. Riker having perfect pitch. Major respect for our boy Will. Get better at that trombone, though, buddy. And no small amount of envy. Geordi and his daughters together, along with his own fatherly apology. My second favorite moment in the show. Favorite moment, of course, has to be Seven's own personal homage to the USS Voyager. One other thing. What is so bad about fan service? We're fans. No, it did its job this episode, and it did it very well.
Yeah,
so no problems with it. Yeah. Take us home, Hawk, with Rude Parakeets, please.
Rude Parakeet wrote, I love that every single episode has nods to DS9, Voyager, and TNG. Seven telling Jack about Voyager was one of my favorite moments, and Riker teasing Worf about the trouble was hilarious. I was hoping Moriarty would have more screen time. Maybe he will. We don't know that this is his only appearance yet. But if not, what we did get was still fantastic.
Oh boy, that was a marathon episode.
Yep.
This might
we
be
had 30 minutes of interview in it.
no
That's
true. To be
true.
fair, it really is like our normal hour and a half review, which is pretty on par. So it's pretty on
par?
Oh.
Do I hit it? Do I hit it?
Just shut up.
There it is. All right, guys, that is going to do it so much. Jesus, I'm fucking tired. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I really hope, and we all really hope, that you loved our interview with Todd Stashwick. It was great to chat with him. We hope you loved our review. Agree with us, disagree with us. That's why we're here every week. We love your opinions. We hope you love our opinions. We're here next week with episodes, we're 307?
Yeah.
307, titled Dominion. We haven't seen it yet, so we're in the dark with you guys, which is a first this season.
Dominion War.
Yay. Maybe not for long. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one. For MC, for Hawk, for Giraffe, for Eric, I'm Julian. I say live long and prosper. Majram. Good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.